Throughout her career in the University of South Australia, Dr. Shauki has received numerous teachings, research, and also community engagement awards. And she is now actively an active supervisor under the School of Commerce in the University of South Australia Business School, and at the Department of Accounting, Faculty of Economics at the University of Indonesia. And she is also an active researcher at the Center for Sustainability and Governance and at the Center for Applied Finance and Economics in the School of Commerce. So on this event today, until tomorrow, will be chaired or moderated by Dr. Dia Satria, PhD, who is currently a lecturer at the Faculty of Economic and Business of Universitas Brawijaya, who is also right now the Student and Staff Mobility Coordinator right here at the International Office of Universitas Brawijaya. Therefore, I would like to give the time and place to our moderator, Dr. Dia Satria.
Baik.
Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you very much, Bu Nanda. And also thank you very much for Mr. Faisal who opened these programs. Today we have a guest lecturer, Ibu Elvia Sauki. Ibu Elvia, can you hear me, Bu Elvia?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, can you hear me? I'm not using my headsets. It's just a problem.
I think it's better, Bu.
Yeah.
Okay. Baik, Bu Elvia, she's my best friend actually. Thank you very much, Bu Elvia. Bu Elvia is a lecturer in the University of South Australia, and she's one of the inspired persons, yeah, who helped me to conduct my research when I study in Adelaide Uni. Not just helped me to conduct the research, but also giving me the food and give me the space to stay there. Terima kasih, Bu Elvia. Mudah-mudahan apa yang kita lakukan pada hari ini bisa bermanfaat and membantu supporting the students, for example, to conduct their study. Okay, Bu Elvia, we can start the presentations. Please, Bu Elvia, I will help you to host this meeting.
Okay, good. Terima kasih. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera buat Bapak Ibu semuanya. Good morning everyone. Good day everyone. I hope you hear me. I used to have a headset, but I think my headset has a problem before. So I thank you very much for the opportunity for me to talk in Universitas Brawijaya. This is in fact my several times talking in front of publics in well, not at the moment, but talking in Universitas Brawijaya. So this is not my first time, my first experience. I think I did it since maybe 2014, the first time, and then coming back again and again. So welcome everyone. I need to greet you all. And I just want to remind you that we do have two steps of our training today. So the first one is on data collections, and tomorrow we are going to see it again for data analysis, as well as on the visualization. So I just want to remind you as well, not only that we are going to divide into two parts, but also we are also accepting questions all the way along during my presentation. So Mas Dias is going to summarize the questions that you send through chatting. And I'm going to stop after 5 slides, and I'm going to stop and then look for the questions. So I'm not going to wait the questions until the end of the sessions, okay? So that's how you do it. You can ask the questions in Bahasa Indonesia, doesn't matter. You can ask any questions, fundamental questions, basic questions, doesn't matter for me, okay? So, and that's the purpose. And we are doing it with environment, because to get the idea, that's the thing, and also raise questions as much as you can, and that's the point. Okay, are you all right with that? Yeah, Mas Dias? Okay, can you share the slides?
Yes. Okay, I'll share the screen. This one. Okay.
Not sure.
Place down. Okay, this one.
Okay, so good morning everyone. So this is the materials that I put in here. The title is enhancing your publication. So a lot of insights that I'm going to provide you here with, that you're just like realizing how important the qualitative research as well as the mixed method that I'm also going to discuss with you. So, and that is going to enhance your publication. So what do we mean by enhancing your publications in terms of methodology and in terms of your analysis and in terms of your data, in terms of your analysis? This will be really, really rich, and that is going to sell your paper, your research in a more novelty way. So this is how you reference it if you want to reference anything that comes from these slides. Okay, so I'll put it there, and then you just copy and paste for you if you want to cite materials out of this. Okay, next slides, Mas. So these are the outlines for today's talk. So I'm going to talk about the introductions to qualitative data analysis. Introductions a little bit on that nvivo 12, or we call it the nvivo 12 Pro or Plus, doesn't matter. If you want to download it for free for 14 days, you can also download the Plus or the Pro software. And also, I'm going to talk about the data collections, research instruments. I believe Mbak Nanda talked about the visual ethnography, and that's one of the research instruments. And what are the steps that we do in collecting the data as well as on data analysis. So these are the outlines for us to talk. Data analysis and visualizations will be lectured for tomorrow. So we are not going to discuss that today. I'm going to finish hopefully in 2.5 hours on that data collections and the introductions to nvivo. Is that right? Is that clear, Mas Dias?
Clear, Bu.
Good. Thank you. Next slides. Is my voice clear, Mas Dias?
Very clear, Bu. It's all
Okay,
good.
good. Okay, this is really, really interesting. Okay, so I think why I'm talking a lot about this this qualitative methods with using the nvivo software. So the way you read it is nvivo, okay, not nvivo, but it's nvivo. So the potentials in conducting your qualitative and mixed method approach, it's quite unique and it's quite novel the way you do it, because it's not that many has done this. And especially with the global pandemic at the moment, with the COVID-19 outbreak, that can be a lot for you to tell. And, you know, I myself, I come from quantitative, like Mas Dias too. I mean, we both come from quantitative researcher. But at the end, when we finish, so my study is on finance. It's about the Asia regional crisis. At that time, when I finished, I have 29,000 row of data, baris, and 54 columns of data. When I ran it into regressions model, logic, profit, you name it. And then at the end, I said, like, this is it, you know, 3.5 years of my study. I think I need to tell a little bit more out of this just the regressions model, out of this probability or the significances and less significances. Therefore, you know, when you really still want to go with your quantitative, but you want to tell a little bit more, or when you do have problems in measuring your data, i.e. qualitative data, this is when you come to mixed method. Can I just repeat it in Bahasa Indonesia, Mas? So that is really important. This is very important. I think Jibril knows and understands a little bit of Bahasa Indonesia, right? Majority are Indonesian, so I need to explain this in Bahasa Indonesia. Bapak dan Ibu, kalau Bapak dan Ibu datang dari kuantitatif, I think semua majority kita mungkin lebih senang ke kuantitatif karena enak, jelas, straightforward gitu ya. Tapi seperti yang kami alami berdua dengan Mas Dias waktu kita bikin kuantitatif, cuma segini doang nih, 3,5 tahun PhD, ngelihat hubungannya mesra, kurang mesra, signifikan, you know, less significant, terus kemudian probability-nya sekian dan segala macam. Kayaknya kita ada sesuatu yang missing yang kita perlu elaborate lagi. ceritanya kita mau elaborate lagi, oke? Atau kalau enggak ada measurement yang kita nggak bisa ukur dengan angka, oke? Saya nanti akan kasih contoh bagaimana powerful-nya measurement itu diukur dari nvivo, ya. Nanti ada cerita menarik, unik waktu saya diminta oleh Mas Dia sebagai second supervisors untuk datang. Bagaimana cara mengukur peran daripada tengkulak, Bu? Peran daripada tengkulak di dalam lelang ikan tuna di 5 perairan di Jawa Timur sana, di pantai Jawa Timur sana. Mengukur peran dari tengkulak itu tidak bisa diukur dengan angka-angka yang kita dapatkan dari BPS. Kan? Jadi waktu itu saya bilang, Mas Dias, oke, kalau gitu kita pakai cara yang lain untuk bisa mengukur tadi, saya bilang, saya katakan demikian. Nah, jadi kata-kata novelty, kebaruan dari penelitian itu bisa datang, it can come from your research methodology, dan yang kedua adalah dari segi pengukuran tadi, yang kedua juga dari temuannya, juga akan menjadi enrich, jadi menjadi kaya. Itulah yang saya katakan, if you want to conduct your research in quantitative, but you have problems with measurements, you have problems in telling the outcome, then comes the mixed method. Otherwise, you want to tell it purely in qualitative methods. Saya rasa itu jelas. I think if you don't understand how important it is, you may raise it in your chat. So especially with the current outbreak, okay, a lot of data that we can collect through text space, not through numbers. Because if you run the numbers, you like number of casualties, number of death, and that's really that's really. Can we go back to the slides? Yeah, that can reduce your selling point. The next one, qualitative and mixed method advantages using nvivo Plus. You can do the word frequency, and that's through content analysis. You can do the text search, that's again through content analysis. Coding, auto-coding, mixed coding, and sentiments, that's something to do with your nvivo, and that can be done also through manual qualitative analysis. And the most important one is constant comparative analysis, atau what we call it the CCM, constant comparative method analysis. Okay, I hope it is clear why it is really important and how can you sell this for your research in order to get accepted in your publications. I hope it is clear. Next slides, Mas Dias. Okay, this is really a good example. So the left side is the presentations. It's a paper written by Mas Dias and his supervisors, Professor Elton Lee at that time. We presented together for the arrest that is back in 2018. I hope you can read the slides on the left sides. So in fact, this is a mixed method on the left side. Okay, I'm talking about the left side slides. It's a very rich in terms of pictures, okay? And that pictures were used to add to the variables, to the regressions models with regard to the transaction cost in auction market, and that is occurring in 5 auctions market in East Java, Jawa Timur, okay? You name it, Pacitan, Banyuwangi, Malang, and so on, okay? So, you can see it from picture number 1 to number 9. It's all about activities related to the actions market in Jawa Timur, in East Java. Remember, data collections is qualitative data, but data analysis is a quantitative data analysis. Why I said so? Why I said so? Because the data was collected. Well, data was collected a mixed method. I need to revise that. Data was collected a mixed method. Mas Dias also has some data regarding the statistical data. Apart from that, there is one component that comes from that picture, okay? And then with the picture that he has about 3,696 pictures. I still remember the number of pictures that Mastias has at that time. When he came to see me the first time, and I said, Mas, that is your data, that is your powerful data in order to add to your variables in the regressions model. What do we do with the pictures? We write, we transcribe everything in the pictures together, and then we can measure this in terms of quantitative data, and we put back into the regressions model, and we run it into regressions model. So I'm going to repeat. Data collections, it consists of qualitative and quantitative, but data analysis is run through quantitative analysis only. I hope it is clear for you all. Okay, if you do not, if you're not clear, you can raise your questions through the chat system. The next slides is about my my grant. So I won a little bit of grant, and I was invited by OS8 the last time, I think about a month ago, to talk about my research through the RRS. And this is qualitative data, purely qualitative data, because I'm collecting purely qualitative data, interviews, focus group discussions, and observations, field study, so all qualitative data, and I run it into qualitative data as well. So it's a purely qualitative data. And when there is a component of mixed method, it's because I run it into different instruments in or within qualitative method. That's what we call it, within method of qualitative. Okay, so I hope you do understand about that. If you have any questions, you need to ask through the chat system. Okay, Mastias, is that clear? The way I differentiate between data collections, qualitative, mixed method, and quantitative analysis through regressions. And the next slide is purely qualitative data analysis. Is that okay, Mastias? Is that clear?
Yep.
Okay, good. Next slides, please. So you know that we do have primary data and secondary data. Okay, so we have to be very, very careful. If you want to present your paper overseas through webinars or through face-to-face, and if you want to present a paper to your journal, international journal, bear in mind one thing though, you have to get ethics approval, okay? Anda harus mendapatkan ethics approval. Kalau if you don't get the ethics approval, you have to tell that what you're doing in your research has passed ethical procedure. Misalnya, kami sudah mendapatkan consent, we have received the consent and things like that. It's something very, very important for you to tell the audience that ethical procedures. Nowadays, with the COVID-19 break, that the protocolar, the procedures for the COVID-19 outbreak has to be done thoroughly, and put that in your research. Especially Elsevier, Emerald, and Francis and Taylor, they ask you to provide the public information system that you need to write it down completely on the process of recruiting the participants, recruiting the respondents for your data, as well as the protocolar for you to do the research in terms of COVID-19 outbreak. So primary data is very sensitive, and that's something that you have to tell about the ethics. Secondary data, I mean, you know, if it is public, you're free to tell what you want to do because it's all assessed through publicly available resources. But when it comes to primary data, you need to be very, very important. Okay, so these are the type of data that you may run, and you may select and you may collect for your analysis, data analysis. Clear? Next slides. Okay, now you name it. Okay, if I miss something here, you just need to type. If I miss something in your data analysis or data collection, sorry, you may name it. This is really, really powerful. I'm not coming from nvivo. I'm not selling the product, okay? Because nowadays there are other software as well, but nvivo is way easier for you to manage rather than others. So the first one is very powerful for you to get the data from internet-based data. Internet-based is, you name it, so electronic journals, electronic newspapers, electronic social media, okay, internet-based. Everything is internet-based. Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, emails. What else? Your references, EndNotes, Mendeley, RefWorks, Zotero, and survey data. Okay, apparently nvivo only works just with those software, and that's called as SurveyMonkey and Qualtrics. And then you ask me, well, how about if I want to do survey through Google Forms? Is that right? Google Forms or the Jot system? There are a lot of software. If you want to do it other than SurveyMonkey and Qualtrics, you can do it. And then once you get the response, you download them in terms of Excel file, and then you import the Excel files into nvivo. But if you do have SurveyMonkey, you do have the Qualtrics, you just have import them through the what we call it, the directly from the nvivo. Okay, so you name it. What else you want to do? Facebook, everything. And importantly, you can also run your data or data collections from audio. You don't have to transcribe it because it costs a lot of money. It takes a lot of time for you to transcribe the audio. You can also run the video from YouTube. You can also run the images, the one that Mastias has. It's about 3,696 pictures, and that can be done as well through nvivo. Okay, so it is really, really powerful data collections we have here. Next slide, Mastias. So the way we analyzed I think Mastias, maybe before we go further, before I go with the data analysis, can we take questions from the floor?
Yes, please, Bu. Just a minute. All right. Okay, there's a questions from Fadilah Putra, Ibu.
Yes.
Qualitative method that can be mixed with quantitative. For instance, is it possible to mix ethnography or phenomenology with statistical analysis? If so, how, Bu? Thank you, Pak Fadilah Putra.
Okay, so I'm talking about ethnography or phenomenology. That is just an approach, okay? But the most important one is that we combine text-based and numbers. Whatever you do in ethnography, in phenomenology, if you do it in text-based, ngerti kan text-based? Text-based is a rich text data. Kata-kata mutiara, okay? So it's a lot of text in there. Whatever you do, whether you do it, whatever study approach you do, whether it's ethnography or phenomenology, as long as you combine the text space and the numbers, and then you run them into regressions models, and that's what we call it mixed method. So yes, the answer is yes, but you need to bear in mind that ethnography needs to be done through text-based. Okay, Mas, menjawab?
Clear, Bu. Bu, also there's a question from Kabupaten Madinah, Bu. Kapan sebaiknya penelitian kita menggunakan mixed method? Ketika menggunakan mixed method, apakah penelitian kita tetap mengidentifikasi gap theory or research gap, atau studi kasus untuk mengetahui posisi penelitian sekarang? Thank you from Herianti Tam.
Okay, that's in fact a lot of questions there, Mas. I think we need to be very, very careful. What questions? Why can't I have the chatting, Mas? Is it chatting? Is that through
yes,
chatting?
Chatting, Bu.
From who is that?
From Kabupaten Madinah. Actually, it's a private chatting, but I
Oh, okay. That's the reason why I can't see it.
Right.
So can you repeat again? So that's number one. Can mix method just one by one because there are a lot of questions in there, Mas.
Kapan sebaiknya kita menggunakan mixed method? That's the
Okay,
first.
that's number one. Okay, kapan sebaiknya? So mixed method is used whenever you have problems, as I mentioned earlier, whenever you have problems in terms of measuring qualitative data and you want to put it into quantitative model. So you have a problem measuring. Well, Bu, I use dummy, ada atau tidak ada, ada atau tidak ada tengkulak. You put it 1 and 0. You know what? When you run it into regressions, you will have definitely an answers, no relationship. Because ada dan tidak ada, it's so naive. Dummy is really, really naive measurement, okay, which I never do it. Because using dummy is just gampangin, what is gampangin in English? Just to simplify the matters, and it doesn't mean anything with the dummy. But if you want to tell there is tengkulak and there are no tengkulak or middlemen or middlewomen, and then the story behind tengkulak, you want to measure this, okay? And that's when you want to go with mixed method, okay? So I'm going to repeat. Mixed method will come if you have problems in terms of measuring the data or in terms of variables that you want to put. You want to put more than just numbers in your variables, but you want to put text-based data in your regressions model. I think I'm answering the questions, Mas Dias.
Right. Thank you very much, Bu Elvia. I think we keep 2 questions, yeah, and you can start again with the presentation, Bu, yeah.
Okay. So and how about the next questions? That one is not finished.
Okay. Oh, the next question for the same persons. Sorry. Nomor 2, ketika menggunakan mixed method, apakah penelitian kita tetap mengidentifikasi gap teori atau research gap atau studi kasus untuk mengetahui posisi penelitian sekarang?
Okay. Well, gaps theory is broad, like the theory. The gaps theory, the gaps and the theory will be brought all the way along. Setiap nafas kita melakukan penelitian, all the way along in every breath of your research has to be broad. And that's the gaps. You have to think about the gaps. You have to think about the theory. And this is what the mistakes we have, is that some researchers forgets about that. They have to solve the gaps. They have to give the gaps, okay? And if the gaps are not discussed in all the way along of your papers, and that is going to be the weakness point as well as the theory. I think we go and I go ahead with the slides, Mas, and we stop. I think we have good questions. Yes, next.
This one, Bu?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to repeat. Before I'm talking about the data collections. Okay. If I list this, there are 19 type of research instruments that we can collect. And that's, again, remember, because I need to stress this, that data has to be text-based data. A lot of text-based. It's not about numbers. If you have numbers, then this is not the right place for you, because if numbers, then you go with SPSS, or if you use other types of software. In terms of analyzing the qualitative data, in terms of analyzing and putting them in your regressions model, okay, back to, jadi saya harus jelaskan, okay, I'm sorry, I need to talk in bahasa. Kalau Bapak dan Ibu punya kualitatif data mau dianalisa dengan kualitatif data, fine. Tapi kalau Bapak dan Ibu punya kualitatif data mau dianalisa dalam bentuk regressions model, then we call it mixed method. Qualitative is qualitative data. Qualitative and quantitative in regressions, it's called as mixed method. Okay, that's something that I need to clarify, that one from the beginning. Kualitatif dari datanya, kualitatif dari analisanya. Kita sebut sebagai kuantitatif. Kualitatif dari datanya, kualitatif dari analisanya kita sebut sebagai penelitian kualitatif. Kualitatif dari datanya, kuantitatif dari analisanya kita sebut sebagai mixed method. Oke, karena masuk ke dalam regression model. Oke, ini kelemahan kita, kelemahan paper-paper, kan karena saya punya topi yang lain yaitu sebagai editor jurnal internasional dan juga jurnal lokal, dan juga sebagai reviewer. Ini kelemahan kita yang sangat mendasar sekali. This is our basic weaknesses apparently. The first one. Apparently, when I read and I review qualitative papers, they used only descriptive qualitative analysis, i.e., I call this copy and paste analysis. Nih, interview. It's a long list of interviews. And what do you do in your qualitative paper? You copy and paste, copy and paste, copy and paste. No analysis, no conclusions that you run, no critical thoughts that you give to your data. And that's what we call it, descriptive qualitative analysis. Copy and paste. I'm going to talk later in my next slides, but the other three, that content, thematic, and constant comparative, is something that we can do through nvivo 12 Pro or Plus. Okay, so that content analysis, which is different from thematic, and which is different from CCM, constant comparative analysis, is something that we can run through the nvivo 12 Pro or Plus. Okay, so the first one is copy and paste. You don't need to have that skills. You don't need to have nvivo to run that number one. Okay, clear? So next slides, Mas Dias, I'm going to talk slowly about descriptive statistics, qualitative analysis. Okay.
Elvia, just a minute. I just want to ask to the audience because there is a problem from another audience. Ada masalah di jaringan, Bapak Ibu? Any problems dengan suara kita? Tidak ada? Oke, lancar. Oke, good. Berarti hanya Bapak yang tadi. Oke, Ibu.
Nanti kalau ada yang mau minta videonya, mau minta rekamannya, silahkan aja, Mas.
Baik.
Dibagi aja ya.
Baik.
Nanti kita kirim linknya ya.
Baik.
Kan maksudnya untuk membagi, memang untuk sharing. Oke, good.
Sharing.
So,
ya.
Slideshow. Ya.
Oke, Ibu. Just a minute.
Slideshow, Mas.
Yes. This one. Oh, kok, sorry.
From current slides. So far, so good, okay?
So far, so good.
I think so far, so good. Good.
This one, Bu?
Oh, I do see a lot of Adelaide connections in as participants. That's really good. Next one.
Yeah.
Okay. So I really advise you not to do descriptive qualitative analysis. Okay. It's really hard to get accepted in a high-ranked journal if your research was conducted or is conducted through just descriptive qualitative analysis. Don't do it. So, and maybe you ask me, how about if I don't have nvivo? You have nvivo, I mean, you know, but we do only have nvivo, the gratisan punya, right? The free trials. But if you don't have nvivo, you still can do the other three methods. I'm going to explain it to you if you want to do it manually without nvivo. Okay, but really don't do it through just descriptive qualitative analysis. So what is descriptive qualitative analysis? It's data analysis by recounting and explaining again the data that has been collecting. So again, it's just explaining, describing, okay? And that's the reason why it is called as descriptive qualitative analysis. You just have to explain, copy and paste, that's it. Well, I'm not proud if you do that, okay? So therefore, I'm suggesting for you to conduct the other three types of analysis. And that's content analysis, thematic analysis, and the other one is CCM. I hope you do understand. And if you put it there in your methodology, chapter 3, it will be really, really beneficial and makes the editor or the reviewers is like, wow, you know, this guy really did a good job in their analysis of their qualitative data. What is content? Content is about what is said, apa yang dikatakan. Then you ask me, oh Bu, that's the same as descriptive. It is. But apart from what it is said, content also has something, what we call it, how it is said. How it is said, okay? So if you want to go with the journals, talking a lot about, or books, talking a lot about content analysis, the guru for content analysis is Krippendorff. Krippendorff, Krippendorff, Krippendorff. And that's something that you can read, and you can buy it from the Amazon.com. So it's richer rather than descriptive content analysis. But again, if you can add a little bit more with that thematic analysis, and especially with the constant comparative method analysis, that will be really, really beautiful. So the purpose of content analysis is to find patterns. Patterns is pola, mapping, petanya, from your data, qualitative data. Through content analysis, research is expected to find important topics, okay? Garis bawahi, so you have to underline that words of topics. Through content, you will find the word of topics. Topics apa sih yang diusung? What kind of topics that were raised by the respondents? And that is really, really important. Topics. It goes more than just descriptive, because it is talk about how it is said. So the topics and how it is said, it's really important. And that's the findings of your content analysis. Mas Dias, did I explain it clearly?
It's clear, Bu.
Really? Really?
Yep.
Okay. So questions like this on the right side. Okay. We do have a lot of about the propaganda now, and which I'm also active in that. It's Black Lives Matters. Like this one, what factors encourage you to attend college? So this is the questions raised for those who have a lot of multi-ethnicity in the university. What are special issues faced by African American males in institutions of higher education? Or you might ask questions like, what are special issues faced by the Black students rather than, you know, the counterparts of the white students? And that is really, really important for you to tell about the topics raised from the respondents. Again, I'm an activist of Black Lives Matter, so that's the reasons I'm really, really interested to see this. It's not only just about black and white, but it's a lot to do with racisms and equalities in this whole world. What problems did you have enrolling and staying in the school? You know, when you learn about multi-racial ethnicity, there's something that you want to get as well in terms of the topics raised and how it is said. Again, how it is said. What can institutions or higher educations do to attract more African American females and males, for instance? Ideas do you have to successfully educate African and American males? Remember, these are all of the questions, what, that cannot be answered with descriptive qualitative analysis, number one, and you cannot answer this in terms of regressions model, which you have to combine that quantitative and qualitative data in terms of content analysis. I hope it is quite clear for me to explain the two types of analysis in qualitative data. The first one, descriptive, is just copy, block, suck, right? Copy, paste, copy, paste. There's no talents at all. Everyone is doing it. And that's what you do, I think. And then the next one is content analysis. Clear, Mas Dias? Clear, audience?
Yep.
Good. We move to the next one, please. Okay, and then the themes. Now I'm going to explain the difference, okay? The difference. Okay, suppose with the outbreak, okay, with the outbreak, I'm sitting in one of the RSUD in Kerawang, okay? This is just an example, which I have done it. I've done this. So I'm sitting in a hospital at RSUD in Kerawang. Okay, I'm sitting there and up observing. Okay, I'm looking around, and up observing, and then I'm writing something on my notes. What I have observed in that RSUD in Kerawang. Okay, this is before the outbreak. Okay, looking, and then I said like, oh, okay, the one who comes to this hospital is the middle and low level people. I mean, sorry to say that, but it's that's demographic. Okay, but when I compare it, when I come to the next time, when I visit the hospital, this is just in March, I look around and I say like, oh, now it's different. The one who comes to this hospital is a high level income earners. What's wrong? With the COVID outbreak, apparently, the people who has that income higher, middle up, they don't want to go with the hospitals that received COVID-19's suspected COVID-19's patient. They want to go to any hospitals that do not have COVID-19 suspects. So that's the reason there is a behavior change. And then I look around, and then I said, okay, most of them, they use BPJS coverage. This is an insurance provided by the government, if you do know a little bit about this, okay? Then I interview the patients. I interview the retailers, that's from the medical retailers. And then I interview doctors. I interview the drugstore. I interview a lot of different types of constituents, stakeholders. I remember Mbak Anggi is here. I remember Mbak Anggi at that time. Mbak Anggi is an architect, Dr. Anggi Rajnawati. She's from University of Udayana. I remember at that time when Mbak Anggi came to me, Bu, I'm observing the usage of open space, public space. You know, the beach in Bali, it's supposed to be used for public, okay? I still remember, and that's really how to explain about thematic analysis. I still remember that when Mbak Anggi the first time came to see me. But unfortunately, that beaches was blocked for access for public to enter that beach, the beaches. So the public access becomes private access, and that's not fair. And this is why in Lombok, in Senggigi, you can't do that. If it is public, you can't put a fence to block others to enter the beach. That's not allowed. So Mbak Anggi came to me, can I interview different types of stakeholders? Yes, you can. So what she did is that interview the academicians, interview the pemangku desa, perangkat desa at that time. So interviewed a lot of different constituents. Now, what is the relationship with thematic analysis? What is the relationship with thematic analysis? Okay. That the differences between PPJS perceptions of different constituents, different perceptions of the usage of public spaces in Bali beaches, that can be run through what we call it thematic. And now I'm going to explain it to you. What's the difference between content and thematic? Content is about the topics. So if I asked, Pak, menurut Bapak, according to you, what do you think about BPJS? Wah, BPJS itu hebat sekali. It's really a facility for the poor people. Okay? If I don't have BPJS, I don't know how can I survive. Remember, then your research mind is like, okay, this is a positive sentiment opinion. That statement is a positive sentiment opinion. And that's something about the benefit of having BPJS. That's topics number 1. Okay. So you can have positive sentiment at the same time, and you can also have the benefit of having BPJS. Tapi Bu, but the price is just so low. This is, I just randomly express what I have heard so far, okay? And that's the reasons why, okay, the facilities and the service that we get is minimum, okay? So the second topic we get there is pricing. The first one is the benefit. The second one is about pricing. That's the content pricing. But the themes, because of the price is too low, the service that we get is minimum. Did you get it? The difference between topics and thema. Topics is run through content, and thema is run through thematic analysis. I think I'm going to get questions, Mas Dias, before I go with the constant comparative, the more complicated one.
Okay, thank you.
Mbak Anggi, sorry I use your examples, Mbak Anggi. Hope you don't mind.
Okay, I scroll up.
Questions, please.
Okay, this one. Dear Mom, waduh ini. Okay, I'm now conducting a linguistic analysis on language structure.
Yes.
Is it possible to use naive, see the pattern of language structures used by certain communities? Terima kasih, Mbak Alis Putri Lintang Sari.
Okay, thank you. Thank you. That is really good questions. But if you want to do linguistic, there is a software, and maybe one day, Mas Dias, we can do that. There is a special software dedicated for linguistic, because linguistic is some implicit meaning inside it, right? If I see a lot in my speech, I see a lot with mungkin saja, oh, tapi nakutin ya, serem ya. That is, I'm very, very pessimistic. Benar nggak sih? I'm very, very uncertain about the future. And that is something that nvivo cannot pick it up. If you want to do that, the meaning, what they said, and that's linguistic, you used another software called Diction. D-I-C-T-I-O-N. Jadi Mbak, if you want to do linguistic and you want to look at the meaning on what they said, whatever your source is, and then you use another software. This one, it's not going to tell you a lot more about the meaning unless you do it in English. Then English is a bit more sensitive rather than Bahasa Indonesia. Okay? I hope I answered that question. Another questions, Mas?
Oke, izin bertanya untuk memastikan agar saya tidak salah paham. Jika data awalnya berupa foto, maka segala yang nampak di foto tersebut harus dideskripsikan terlebih dahulu menjadi teks agar kemudian bisa digunakan diolah melalui nvivo.
Sip. That's a very, very good question. Remember, Mas Dias, when you saw me once a picture of lelang, auctions market, that lady, the lady, is it in Pacitan?
Yes.
Yes, I still remember. Back years ago, I still remember. So, Mas, siapa yang nanya, Mas?
Ibu Anita Wijayanti.
Ibu Anita, pertanyaan Ibu bagus banget. You know, Mas Dias showed me the picture. I can maybe when at the end of this talk you can put it on Mas Dias about that picture. Maybe you still have it, that Ibu. Mas Dias brought me the picture of 3,696 pictures. Okay. And I look around and I put it like in a room, and then I look around like that. Saya perhatiin. I said, you know what, Mas Dias, you have very, very good findings out of these pictures. In every pictures, because we talk about tengkulak at that time, the role of tengkulak in auction market. In every pictures, there is one lady, and those who come already to my my qualitative analysis, whether you are from Erlangga, whether you're from Brawijaya, whether you are from UI, I always mention about this because it is really, really unique. There is always a lady with daster kuning. Remember, Mas? Saya rasa dasternya banyak. I think she has a lot of PJ, but it's always kuning. I don't know why. And that attracts me when I saw your pictures, Mas. I look at that, it's always a lady. That lady is really, really important in terms of the auction market. And she's always standing in the middle. It's a lady, ibu-ibu gebuk kayak saya, pakai daster kuning, and in her hand, it's a lot of rupiah, right? You still remember, Mas? A lot of rupiah in her hand. Everywhere, every pictures that Mas Dia says, always have that lady in Pacitan. And that's what we can tell. Tapi Ibu, menjawab pertanyaan Ibu, dari gambar ibu-ibu tadi, from that pictures of a lady who conduct an auctions market of tuna fisheries industries, we don't have to transcribe everything in that pictures. Okay, I hope you do have the pictures, Mas. I do have it, but somewhere I can tell it. Maybe we can have a little bit of a break, then I can find that pictures and I can tell. Setiap sudut daripada gambar itu punya manfaat. Tapi not for your research, maybe for another research. Misalnya, ibu itu ada gambar ibu itu lagi nunjuk-nunjuk ini, lagi apa tuh? Merintah-merintah gitu, ya. Nunjuk orang gitu. Itu menunjukkan bahwa dia punya peran yang penting sekali di dalam auction market. Terus ada gambar di bawah, mungkin kita lihat pembuangan atau mungkin ada bak es atau nggak ada tempat menyimpan es, dan itu adalah traditional market. Kondisinya memang tidak ada sama sekali penyimpanan es yang kita lihat dari picture itu. Jadi Ibu, kalau Ibu tanya, apakah setiap sudut daripada gambar itu akan menjadi data? Jawabannya ya, tapi mungkin jadi beberapa paper, nggak jadi satu paper. It can be used for a lot of research, not just one paper. Did I answer your questions, Ibu?
Right. Terima kasih.
Yeah.
Okay, very clear. And if this also connect with another question, Bu Elvia. Ada dua pertanyaan. Bagaimana jika ethics melarang pengambilan gambar atau photographs of participants? Dan yang kedua, in transcribing a picture, from whose perspective the picture is transcribed.
Very good.
Such transcription relate to objectivity and subjectivity of
very
the
good.
pictures?
Very good. Very good. Very good questions. Spot on. Number one, of course, you have to get approval from your respondents. Okay. So this is a little bit of a story. You know, I'm a lecturer in Universitas Erlangga. I think one of my PhD students is in this sessions too, Mas Bli Agung. I stay in a hotel called Suplahu, Surabaya Plaza Hotel, I think, something like that. Or sometimes I stay in Santika, Gubeng, and that's owned by professor in Erlangga. You know what? Late at night, I walk through the river. This is before Ibu Risma was there as a wali kota. You know, and then I look, and I found there were rivers that are full of bubbles, limbah. This is late at night when I walk on my own. And then I saw like that, and I take a picture of that. How come that the rivers are full of bubbles only at night, not during the day? Apparently, the factories, they release the limbah, the waste, at night, not during the day. Then you take a picture. Oh, something. You know, peneliti itu bawaannya curious. Setiap saat pengennya apa? Oh, ini jadi penelitian. Ini jadi penelitian. Padahal we have no time. But you know, just like I take a picture. So if you ask me, of course, there is public content and there is private content, Ibu. So if you want to do public content, you don't have to get the permissions if it is for public. But if it is for private, you have to get consent from your respondents. And that is very, very clear. Otherwise, you're breaching privacy and your paper might not be published because of that privacy breach. Okay. Number two, you know, when I saw the picture of the ibu-ibu with duster in an auctions market, I'm not going to be naive telling that this ibu is so powerful. No way. We don't come from Pacitan. We don't know anything to do with Pacitan. And that auctions market, though Mas Dias lived there for 3 months. Okay, is it 3 months that you lived there in Pacitan, Mas?
Yeah.
More or less?
Yeah,
Yeah, 3 months, right? In total, in among 5 beaches, 5 pantai itu, about 3 months. But it's too risky if we tell something that we don't know, unless we live there, right? Forever. So in visual ethnography, this is what we do, Ibu. Either you ask the actors to confirm what is going on. So ask the ibu-ibu to tell you, Bu, what are you doing here? You know, and why are you always wearing daster kuning, Bu? That daster kuning reminds me a lot because it's quite mencolok gitu ya, right? What are you doing this? Oh, I'm conducting this. But sometimes it is impossible for you to approach the actors. Okay, so if it is impossible for you to approach the actors, you have to ask the informant. And that is the techniques that you conduct in visual ethnography. You ask the informant. You can ask the guy from the market in Pacitan Beach. So what are they doing? You can get that. And then among researchers, you also have to validate that data. This is about reliability and validity of your qualitative data. Confirm, reconfirm, confirm, reconfirm, coding, recoding, coding, recoding. Otherwise, it's going to be biased. And that's what I can tell you. I hope I can explain that. And that's what we did for Mas Dias research. Okay? Is that clear?
That's clear, Bu. Thank you very much.
I go back again to the slides?
Yeah, we go back again, Bu Elvia. Thanks a lot.
Save. And then, so the next one is the themes. Remember when I talk about that BPJS, temanya sama topiknya, they're different. The topic is content, themes is thematic. Topics is about pricing, service, and then collections, and all these things, okay? Judul-judulnya, judul besarannya. But when you talk about the themes, that pricing policy is going to be seen, perceived differently from one to another. And that's when we talk about thematic analysis. I hope it is quite clear. Both of them can be done through nvivo. I'm going to repeat. The content analysis can be done through nvivo using word frequency and text search. That's to tell you what it is said and how it is said. So in nvivo, you use word frequency and text search for content analysis. But for thematic, you use coding, auto-coding, okay, coding, auto-coding, and manual coding. And that's something that you can do for thematic analysis. Thematic analysis is a method. Please go and read this book or this paper written by Braun and Clark, 2006. Remember when I told you about the content is Krippendorf? This one, the guru is Braun and Clark. It's a method of identifying, analyzing, and reporting themes from data. Tahap-tahapnya, the stages of data analysis using thematics method are as follow. Number one, you have to familiarize yourself about the themes that you're going to have. But before you do the themes, you have to have the topics first. Harga. Okay, if it's about pricing policy and you want to see what is the problem or what are the problems with the pricing policy, and that's you familiarize yourself with the topics, the big picture, and you go down to the themes of each topic, and that's what we call it, the thematic. Familiarize yourself with the data collected, reading repeatedly and thoroughly. It looks like it takes a long time, but in fact it's not. It's going to be really, really quick. Research and sort out of the themes and answering research questions. You have to go back again. Remember when someone asked me about that gaps? And remember when someone asked me about the theory, that you need to go back again to the gaps. You need to go back again to the theory. And that's how you do it with thematics. The thema has to connect with your research questions. The theme has to connect with your research problems, with your theory, as well as with the gaps that you do have it there. That's to answer the questions before. Okay, clear, Mas Dias? Menjelaskannya? Do you want
Yes.
me to repeat?
No, that's clear, Bu.
Clear? So
Yeah.
then you do have the last one. That's the constant comparative analysis. Okay. So the constant comparative analysis, when we want to talk about how to differentiate between the two, okay, how to differentiate between the two. So in this case, you want to compare what your findings. Maybe you asked me, oh, am I comparing the topics or am I comparing the themes? Well, you do compare it, both of them, okay? You do compare the qualitative data, you do compare the text-based data, text-based data. You do not compare the numbers. In this case, you do compare the text-based data, both of them, the topics that they raised and as well as the themes that they raised. So you do have two outcomes out of this. For instance, you interview respondents on BPJS. Apparently the topics that were raised or concerned by the stakeholders are all different. So pasien ceritanya beda. Drugstores, they have different stories. Doctors, they have different stories. Hospitals have different stories. And as well as other constituents have different stories. And that's when you compare each other, and that's what we call it, the constant comparative method analysis. And you also compare the theme, not just the topic, but also the theme. Tema yang diusung per topik, whether if they talk about all pricing, okay, so it has to be apple to apple. Kalau price, ya price semua yang harus dibandingkan. Gak bisa satu ngomong price, yang satu ngomong policy. So you have to compare it, the same topics, the same content. And then you talk, but the content is different from one to another. And that's when we talk about the constant. I just want to remind you, CCM is not just about the topic, but also about the themes. How do you present this? You need to present this in a table on the difference between different constituents or different stakeholders. Constant comparative methods, together with theoretical sampling, constitute the core qualitative analysis in the grounded theory. And that is Glasser and Strauss. And again, Glasser, Strauss, and that's really, really powerful for those who are conducting grounded theory. And that is driven by the data. Apa sih namanya grounded theory itu? So what is a grounded theory? It's something that is driven by the data. When you apply it, you don't know what kind of framework that you're using. You don't know what kind of theory that you're using. So I just let it go, and it's the data, it's going to drive your findings, and the data is the one who is going to drive you about that conceptual framework later on. And that can be done through CCM. So for those who are doing grounded theory, a lot of grounded theory, CCM is a very powerful method. Okay, comparisons is also dominant principles of the analysis process. in other traditions of qualitative research. So if you don't have nvivo, doesn't matter, you know, you don't have to have nvivo. Again, I'm not selling nvivo here. I'm just telling you how powerful it is conducting CCM for your qualitative data. So what do we have there is you compare it, remember, okay, column, 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 and that's what we did with, at that time with Mbak Anggi. We compared 5 columns, remember Mbak Anggi, when you do have 5 columns of your interviews among 5 different constituents, as well as you do compare it using bar chart, pie chart, and things like that. That is possible. Or you use cluster, you use the word cloud and things like that. You can do that. But comparisons is very powerful, whether you do it through software or through the manual research. Okay. Memo writing, close reading, rereading, coding, displays, data matrices, diagrams support the principles of comparisons. And this is richer rather than your descriptive because you're doing analysis. You compare what it is said between one to another. You can compare in terms of sentiments. Tadi saya bilang, sentiments itu my thoughts, my opinions about certain cases. For instance, I'm not really positive. I'm not really negative, but you know, I have opinion, but it's just a bit in the middle. Things like that can be run automatically, and then you can get that pictures immediately through nvivo about the sentiments. So you run interviews, misalnya kita masukkan interview 100 interview, kita masukin, terus kita bisa lihat langsung how much or how many respondents think positive ideas, for instance about public spaces tadi, research yang bagi, or it's about the auctions market of Mas Dias, and for me it's about that pengawasan penggunaan dana desa, for instance, or BLTDD, bantuan langsung tunai dana desa. That's when I get a huge grant at the moment. So that's important for you to develop a theory. Okay, and that's what it is said to be driven, drive oleh teorinya. Okay, driven by the theory. Comparing the research is able to do what is necessary to develop a theory. This is what it is called as grounded theory. Grounded theory means that we don't know about the theory, just let it go, we do it, and the data will tell you what kind of theory that you're going to use there. Comparisons is the main intellectual activities that underlies all analysis in grounded theory. The main intellectual tool is comparisons. Okay. If you do have questions, Mas Dias, because this is really, really powerful and useful, I want to get questions out of this, please.
Right. Oke, Bu Elvia, tadi ada yang kontak juga. Can you please re-explain again in Bahasa for the last presentation, Bu? For the last slide?
You mean constant comparative, Mas?
Yes, in the constant comparative, Bu.
Baik, baik. Jadi Bapak Ibu, constant komparatif itu kalau Bapak dan Ibu pernah melakukan, Jibril, sorry, okay, I'm talking in bahasa, okay, Jibril? Pernah melakukan Man-Whitney test nggak? Man-Whitney test, komparasi dua populasi, ya. Misalnya kelas internasional sama kelas reguler dibandingkan tinggi badannya atau nilai ujian. Apakah kelas ini berbeda dari kelas sebelah? Entah tinggi badannya, entah berat badannya, berat badan sensitif ya. Tinggi badannya atau apa nilainya, kita bandingin berbeda atau enggak secara signifikan. Uji beda rata-rata. That's in quantitative. That's what we call it Man-Whitney test, Wilcoxon ranking, Pearson's, terus apa, Kolmogorov-Smirnov, itu metodenya banyak banget dah. Dulu waktu saya masih pakai quantitative purely ya. This is the same thing. Uji beda dua rata-rata. Tapi yang dibedakan adalah kualitatif data. Oke, yang dibedakan dua kualitatif data. Yang dibedakan adalah kata-kata mutiara. Kata-kata mutiara yang diusung oleh responden kita sehubungan urusan tadi BPJS. kata-kata mutiara yang diusung, text based yang diusung oleh constituents yang concerns tentang public spaces di pantai-pantai di Bali. Karena banyak hotel ngeblok pantai itu. Dia bilang, gak boleh lu lewat sini. Karena untuk menjaga privasi tamu kita. Enak aja, padahal itu miliknya publik. Gimana kita bisa membandingkan statement antara masing-masing constituents? Ya. Nah, jadi yang kita bandingkan adalah kata-kata mutiara. Entah topiknya, judul besarnya, atau tema yang diusung di dalamnya, yang kita sebut tematik. Kemudian, kalau kita mau ngetes, beda nggak sih sebetulnya, seperti waktu itu Mbak Anggi bilang sama saya, Bu, beda nggak sih di antara tema yang diusung antara pemilik hotel dan pedanda misalnya, atau warga di sekitar situ, gitu ya, beda nggak sih? Itu sama nvivo bisa dihitung. Hitung temanya tadi bisa dihitung, di quantify, yang kita sebut sebagai kita codingkan dan kita bisa hitung percentage of coverage-nya. Begitu sudah dapat angkanya, kita bisa run dengan menggunakan Mann-Whitney atau dengan Kolmogorov-Smirnov untuk melihat secara statistik apakah tema yang diusung itu berbeda antara konstituen satu dengan konstituen lainnya. That's what we call constant comparative analysis. Coba Mas tanya, jelas enggak penjelasan saya itu?
Oke, clear. Ya, tadi beberapa kontak lewat WA dan di sini Bu di chat juga. Baik, next question boleh Bu?
Ya.
Ini kalau menurut kami sangat clear banget. From Nur Aziza Bu, bagaimana deciding apakah sebuah research itu perlu konten atau thematic analysis?
Very good, very good. That is a very spot on questions, and that is really, really good. Oh, ada yang nanya, apakah sedang recording? Ya, sedang recording, Pak Heru Khairuddin. Then the recording will be distributed among participants, video and audio, Pak. Maksudnya adalah untuk membagi ya knowledge saya kepada semuanya. Okay, so through what audience.
Is it possible to upload it in the YouTube, Bu?
Yeah, it's okay.
Possible. Okay.
That's possible.
Okay.
That's very good questions. Can you repeat again, Mas, so that I'm not going to miss it?
Bagaimana deciding apakah sebuah research perlu konten atau thematic analysis?
Ya, Ibu, that's really depending on your research questions. Okay, that's really depending on your research questions. If your research questions is just talking about the big picture, which is not that critical, then you'd go with content analysis. But if you want to conduct it in more thorough way, untuk jurnal internasional yang berranking, it doesn't stop in content analysis. Please, you have to go with the theme. And you need to go with the constant comparative. It tells a lot more rather than just content. Jadi kalau Ibu nanya, ya boleh aja sih konten sih, tapi ya masuknya mungkin ya lokal-lokal aja ya ke jurnalnya. Oke, Ibu? So if you want to be more critical, then you need to conduct with the thematic or the constant comparative. And that is really a brilliant idea. Paper saya, kalau udah ngomong yang nyeleneh-nyeleneh, ya, yang nyeleneh-nyeleneh, artinya yang very, very unique, ya kan? Itu langsung sama editornya langsung dikirim hari yang sama. Can you please stay with us? I'm going to give it to you decisions less than 2 weeks time. Kenapa? Karena mereka tahu that's how we sell how we sell our paper, uniqueness study. So don't go with the ordinary one. Go with the extraordinary. Go more and beyond the content. That's my advice. Okay? Is that clear? Boleh saja sih, tapi it's not that good, really critical. Ya, Mas Dias?
Okay. Can we add another question, Bu?
Yes, one more.
Okay. Izin bertanya, jika mau menganalisis data dengan artificial neural network, kapan metode itu dipakai? Oh, mungkin ini tesisnya juga, Bu. Apakah Ibu berkenan jawab, Bu?
Saya pernah ngajar Asosiasi Universitas Swasta PTS di Jakarta, isinya dokter semua. Pernah ditanyain itu, tapi saya sekarang lupa lagi. Boleh nggak dijelasin apa itu?
Oke, where is Mas Hendrik? Kita panggil Mas Hendrik ya.
Nggak aja.
Oke, Mas Hendrik, boleh dijelaskan, Mas Hendrik?
Oh iya, nggak, itu saya cuma saya lagi disertasi aja di ada arahan pembimbing untuk yang keberlanjutan, apakah menganalisa pola ya, pattern itu pola itu pakai artificial neural network.
Mas Hendrik, boleh dijelaskan judul disertasinya apa?
Menganalisa keberlanjutan pertambangan di Kalimantan Barat seperti itu.
So network-nya apa, Mas? Bisa dijelasin lagi nggak metodenya apa?
Nggak, saya belum dapat itunya, metodenya belum diajarkan ya, cuma dijelasin pakai metode artificial neural network, katanya itu lebih baru.
Saya pernah dengar, tapi saya nggak mendalami, Pak. Nanti, I can provide you with my email address and we can communicate nanti ya, Pak ya. Oke, Pak.
Okay, terima kasih.
Kalau if you do have more informations, you can connect through the panitia and then I can answer that. Okay?
Okay, thank you.
Daripada saya salah jawab kan. Ada lagi, Mas Dias?
Right, thank you, Ibu. Can we continue with the presentations?
Yes,
right.
Good. Constant comparative, is that clear? Anyone wants to ask questions? Are you okay?
I think that's clear, Bu.
Clear, yeah. Very, very rich with the data. You can compare it. Okay. One thing, mixed method itu bukan hanya, mixed method is not just about combining our research from qualitative to quantitative, okay? Mixed method can be done in one qualitative approach, but you do have different types of research instrument. Saya ulang lagi ya. Yang namanya mixed method itu bukan hanya mengcombine antara kualitatif dan kuantitatif, tapi yang namanya mixed method itu juga melakukan analisa dari kualitatif data tapi menggunakan berbagai research instrument. Okay, so if you do have a lot of research instruments, well, say like 5, like us, for Mas Dias project, for instance, itu ada interview, focus group discussions, discourse analysis, kemudian ada visual ethnography, ada field study, ada observations. And that's also, we call it as mixed method. Within the method, not between. Between artinya kalau kualitatif dan kuantitatif kita combine. Kalau di dalam kualitatif sendiri ada berbagai research instrument, kita sebut sebagai within the method, okay, within the qualitative method. And that's something very, very important. Jadi waktu kita membandingkan, itu membandingkannya bukan hanya membandingkan interview satu orang dengan interview yang lain lagi, gitu ya. And it can be interview dengan survei. It can be interview dengan gambar. Misalnya nih, contohnya nih, tadi saya jalan di, when I walk in Surabaya, right? And then suddenly I heard that water comes out of the factories, and I was like, "Ooh, okay." Then I took a picture. Bubbly waters early in the morning in Surabaya, and compare with my interview. Saya nanya nih, Pak, apakah Bapak tindakan apa yang Bapak lakukan dalam mengurangi dampak dari pencemaran lingkungan? What do you do in terms of reducing the impact of that, environmental waste? Kita nggak pernah mencemarkan lingkungan. No, we are a good company. We don't damage environment. Excellent company. And then suddenly, the pictures tells a lot of different things. So if you do have interview, there are some techniques that you have to validate and check whether that information is correct or not. There are ways to check that. But importantly, if you do have any types of other types of research instruments, that interview can be confirmed with different media of instruments. And that's my point. And that's constant comparative is comparing interview data and visual ethnography data. Interview data with survey data, interview with focus group discussions. Apparently the informations are all different. And that's something to do with that. Slides-nya salah Mas Dias. We go next slides. No, before. Yeah, that's one finished. Now this one finished too. Next slides. Yeah, this one. This is really, really, really important. Okay, and that the slides comes from Boje 2002. When you type constant comparative analysis, you get all details informations about Boje. And what do we do in constant comparative analysis? Number one, you compare interviews in one single interview. Si Barbara di interview, si Barbara ngomong tentang tek, and we can compare it. Compare in one single interview. And that's also called as constant comparative method. Within a single interview, compare between topic to topic, compare between teams and teams, or compare between topics with different teams. That's also possible. Or compare between different interviews. Tadi yang dilakukan oleh Mas Dias, yang dilakukan oleh Mbak Anggi, yaitu melakukan comparing different types of interviews among different constituents. Ya, constituents itu warga negara, right? Among different stakeholders, pemangku kepentingan. That's also constant comparative. Comparisons of interviews of different groups. Jadi the group perawat di interview dari rumah sakit Kerawang, perawat di interview dari rumah sakit Cikampek. Dan you compare it. Perawat di sini sama di sini. Loh, apa bedanya, Bu? Yang satu tuh orang kaya semua tuh yang datang. Yang satu tuh orang yang middle, lower level. Okay, you compare between groups tapi similar types of respondents. Level of couples. This is discourse. For those who knows about discourse, itu kalau discourse itu, kalau interview, you do conduct interview is one-to-one. Interviewer, interviewee, right? One-to-one, eye-to-eye. Focus group discussions is more than one. One interviewer or one moderator, one timekeeper, and a lot of interviewees. That's more than one. That's focus group discussions. Tapi discourse, one interviewer and a couple of interviewees. A couple, pasangan. Wife and husband. Okay, eselon 1, eselon 4. Okay, or managers, anak buah, dari pabrik. Mahasiswa, dosen. Twin, kakak, adik. Laki, perempuan. White, black. Local students, international students. And that is about discourse. And you build that kind of discussions among the two interviewees, and that's what we call it the discourse analysis. Oke, kalau gitu yang namanya constant komparatif apa juga membandingkan dengan survei? Yes. Apakah membandingkan dengan hasil observations? Yes. Apakah juga membandingkan hasil dengan field study, dengan gambar, dengan video, dengan audio, dengan segala macam? If you want to compare, it's called as constant comparative. Even if you just have to do one single instrument, and that is interviews, you do need to compare it. Is that clear? I hope it is clear. Next slide, kalau enggak, Mas Dias. Okay, this is a bit small, tapi I need to explain it to you carefully. Seperti apa sih pertanyaannya, questionsnya? Ya. Seperti di sini nih. what is the core message of these interviews. Itu misalnya satu, apa sih pesan utama yang diusung oleh satu interviewee saja. That's one there. How are different fragments related? Ya, all way long itu adalah jenis-jenis pertanyaan. I think this is very powerful slide. So if you want to go with that questions and ada similarities dengan tabel ini, then you need to look at the left side, what kind of approach or way of analysis of CCM that I need to do. Is that clear, Mas Bias? I don't want to spend this, otherwise it's taking a long time, but that's the type of questions presented in column number 4. Presented in column number 4, types of questions, and then you need to go to look at the approach that you need to conduct on the left side. I think that's how it works. Okay? Clear? Next slides. Okay, then we start, before we finish, we start with the nvivo. But before, maybe we ask questions first. Okay, I want to get questions on CCM.
Okay, thank you, Ibu. Okay, we start with the question ya Bu ya?
Yes.
Okay. Apakah ethical clearance perlu didapatkan dari ethic board atau cukup informed consent dari responden? Bu Elvia, mohon izin saya sampaikan untuk peserta, mungkin ada yang belum install nvivo, tapi kita akan memulai untuk lebih technical tomorrow ya Bu ya?
Ya.
Okay, because we will finish after another 3 minutes maybe Bu, 10.30.
Berapa menit? How many minutes?
10.30 Ibu, kita another 25 minutes.
So what time is there? It's 10.
10:05 Bu.
10:05, so another 30 minutes.
Another 25 minutes, yeah.
35 minutes. Okay, we still have the time. Okay, good.
Okay. Ibu,
So if you ask me about ethical clearance, yeah, if you ask me about ethical clearance, if you send to Q1 journal, they will always ask you about ethical clearance. They will always ask you about ethical clearance, okay? But because in Indonesia, even in UI, ethical clearance is not really a compulsory task for us to do it. Kan belum obligations kan? Kalau di Australia, ya nggak mungkin aja. Begitu kita presentasi selesai dengan research proposals, the next step is you have to go through ethical clearance, and that takes about 3 months to do it. Okay, so here is quite thorough. But anywhere you want to present your paper outside Indonesia, anywhere you want to send your paper outside Indonesia in journal publications, you have to get ethical clearance. If you don't have one, at least in your paper, these are the things that you have done in terms of ethical clearance. No approval is needed, but there are steps that you need to follow. There are steps that you need to follow. So apa itu misalnya? Misalnya, maaf ya, saya pakai contoh. Saya interview tentang brothel, oke? Apa namanya, di Doli gitu ya. Saya sekarang udah nggak ada Dolinya. Saya interview di sana, oke? I'm talking about the HIV, okay? That's quite sensitive. That is quite sensitive information that you get there. Though your university don't require to have ethics approval, but you still have to give guidelines and explanations, quite detailed information, what you have done in order to get that kind of sensitive information. For instance, you interview students who are dropped out, keluar dari program, right? Ada informasi, oh saya udah nyaris mau bunuh diri, saya dari keluarga sangat miskin. Can you tell this to public audience without the consent of the student? You can't. It's unethical. You have to tell that you are going to tell. You don't put the names of the students. That's number one. That's the rules. Don't put the names of the students. Don't put even the institutions that is related. And any private informations, if you want to tell it to the public, you have to get the consent and do not expose them in terms of names, that it can embarrass the institutions or the name of the respondents. So if you answer me, yes, you have to go through the ethical protocol, though maybe you don't get the approval because there's no body that approve your ethics applications, but at least you have to outline what you have done in ethical way, so that you're not going to embarrass, memalukan satu pihak atau satu institusi. Okay? And anything that is not allowed to be listed in public, don't breach that. Jangan langgar itu. Karena kalau ada satu orang komplain tentang data rahasia yang diekspos, okay, and you are going to be in trouble, not just you, but the whole institutions are going to be in trouble, and your paper will never be accepted for public consumptions. Misalnya nih, so my students, Bu, saya mau nulis tentang Garuda, Bu, tentang unethical behaviors in Garuda. Kebetulan saya punya teman dekat, luckily I have a close friend who works in Garuda, so I can tell you a lot more about the behavior. And I said like, what? I'm not proud at you. I'm not going to supervise you. I want to hear from you informations that were provided to public. If it is not provided to public, at least I get the consent from whomever you interview them. Do not breach that trust. Kita datang sebagai peneliti, kita bukan datang sebagai detektif, sok jagoan. Ya, right? We are not a police. Kita bukan polisi, kita bukan jaksa, kita bukan politicians. Kita cuma melihat fenomena yang terjadi. So do it ethically. That's my message. Ya, jelas? Whether there is approval or no approval is needed. And that is very, very serious.
Wah, terima kasih sekali, Bu. Very clear, Bu, tentang konsen itu.
Termasuk, Mas Dia, satu.
Oke.
Termasuk soal ethical ini. Ya, menyimpan datanya. Kalau di Code of Ethics-nya di Australia, itu jelas sekali. Waktu kita udah interview, itu naruh USB, jangan sembarangan. Okay? You have to store that data in a secret place, and you have to explain this in your paper. That the data will not be accessed by anyone. That USB is not taruh di sembarangan orang sampai lihat, oh ternyata itu tuh yang di interview kemarin korupsi ternyata. Lah, kan repot urusannya. Kalau that data can be accessed by anyone, you have to tell. Nomor tiga yang berikutnya, it's about ethics. If it is not yours, it is not yours. Okay, that's really, really important. Bu, cuman ngambil dari blog kok, Bu. Okay, is that blog belongs to you? No. If it is not, then you have to acknowledge it. Apa sih susahnya naruh kurung in your paper? Satria 2018. Justru dengan naruh kurung, kita itu lebih bisa lihat dunia dengan bangga. Tapi begitu kita nggak naruh kurung, susah. Ya, kelar hidup lu. Nah, itu tuh bahasanya anak gaul sekarang tuh. Kelar hidup lu. You have to acknowledge the source of information, regardless. Itu apa aja. Entah itu Twitter, entah itu Kompas, entah itu blog orang, entah itu zaman dari WhatsApp. You have to acknowledge it. But you have to get the permissions. Kan tadi saya udah bilang, Facebook bisa di-run jadi data kualitatif kan? Betul nggak? Bu, saya pengen masukin data Facebooknya mantan nih, Bu. Banyak informasi yang sangat berharga, Bu. He works for Astra International, Bu. No, even though he's your mantan, even though there are a lot of different informations that you can run, you have to get the permissions from your mantan. Tapi saya udah nggak ada hubungan lagi, Bu, sama mantan saya, Bu. Well, then you don't run it. You have to run. If it is primary data, private data, you have to get the consents that you use that. And once you get the permissions, you put them in the bracket. Public or non-public, put them in the bracket. If it comes from interview, do not put from misalnya NAPI 10 2020. No. You put responden nomor 1 2020. Respondents 1 2020. Do not put the real name of that respondents to protect privacy. Walaupun si bapaknya bilang, taruhlah nama aku, biar aku top lah di seluruh dunia, gitu. Enggak, Pak. We can't put your names in my paper to protect the privacy of yours. And that is something to do with ethics, okay? And for publicly, you can put it. For private, you can't put it. And that's satu hal yang saya sering lihat. What I see it a lot. Peneliti menggunakan gambar milik orang lain. Krakatau Steel punya gambar menarik sekali. Wah, boleh nih masuk dalam paper saya. Copy paste punya Krakatau Steel. Ditulis loh Bu, ini mahasiswa maksi saya. Ditulis loh Bu di bawahnya Krakatau Steel 2020, terus ada linknya, lengkap. Itu kan namanya citasi. If you copy paste, it's citasi, right? Citations. Ada loh Bu, Krakatau Steel 2020 ada linknya. Sekarang saya tanya, gambarnya milik siapa? Who owns the picture? Who owns the figure? Krakatau Steel. Did you get the permissions? No. Then you can't use it. Unless you get the permissions. Kemarin paper saya masuk ke Q2, ya, Kogan Business and Management. Ada pertanyaan. Dan kita harus tulis declaration statement. That all the pictures that outlined in this paper, I have already received permissions from other parties to publish it into my paper. You are in trouble if you don't get the permissions. Jadi kalau ada Excel dan segala macam, gambar sendiri kalau Excelnya. Tapi kalau gambarnya misalnya jelimet sekali, you have to get the permissions, and that's something to do with ethics. Okay, so do it with ethical issues. Otherwise, you have a problem if you want to publish it in Q1 or Q2 or Q3, in fact, right? Di Indonesia ya kayak gini masih belum, ya masih lewat lah, masih belum strict seperti itu. Tapi kita mulai dengan yang praktek yang baik lah. Okay, good. Next slides.
Bu Elvia, actually there is a question from Arya Bayu. Ibu, I saw in your presentation it will go technically on nvivo. Is it possible to continue the next PowerPoint for tomorrow? And today we will answer the question, and maybe I can invite the audience to ask directly to you about our presentation today.
So what do you want me to do now?
Actually, I have one question from Arya Bayu Pangestu, Bu.
Yes.
The question is, Dear Bu Elvia, for my dissertation research, I'm trying to implement a new approach in community development method. And I would like to assess the impact of the new approach on different demography in the community. I'm thinking to use a constant comparative analysis throughout the process to compare the impact of different segments on different pace of community development. My question is, can the CCA use that way? Thank you, Bu.
CCA itu apa?
Comparative.
Oh, tadi concern comparative. Yeah. Okay, is that Mas Arbay from ITB?
Arya Bayu Pangestu, Ibu.
Kita kan, Mas Arbay kita.
Iya.
Okay, halo Mas Arbay. Mas Arbay from ITB Bandung. Mas Arbay, yes, of course. If you want to compare and you want to get that insights, okay, the difference between, in tomorrow I'm going to show it to you about a very, very powerful diagram before you conduct the nvivo. That diagram is going to tell you about that comparative. So is it between method? Is it within method? Okay, and that is really useful diagram that you can use it. I don't have it in my slides now, but I can bring it tomorrow. Yes, you can. By conducting CCA or CCM method, CCM approach, you can get the insights on the difference, not only just the topics, but also the themes. If you come from that, if you are strong with quantitative skill, I really want you to run it into what we call it, the, like the one that I mentioned about before, comparing the two populations. And that can be done through Mann-Whitney or the Kolmogorov-Smirnov. That can be done like that. Beautifully run the data, and that can be really, really rich in terms of your findings, Mas Arbai. So that's something that I suggest you to do it. Maybe because you know my WhatsApp, and you can have a discussions further. I think that is really, really a great job. Yes, the answer is yes. Okay, you can turn on the video, Mas. You want me to start a little bit with nvivo, or what do you want me to do?
Do you still have? We still have another 10 to 15 minutes. Is it?
Yeah.
Is it possible, Ibu?
Yeah.
Okay, baik.
So, yeah. So that's 13, slide 13. Yes. Okay. So this is the software. Okay. Again, I'm not coming from nvivo, and I'm not asking you to buy nvivo. Okay. If you want to buy, that's fine. But if you don't want to, it's okay. You can run all of the things that I mentioned earlier here using a manual approach. The powerful things about nvivo is that you can run it in a huge data. Okay. But you can still do it in a manual way. Doesn't matter. Okay, doesn't matter. So the maximum capacity of nvivo is about 10 gigabytes. 10 gigabytes. That files can consist of pictures, audios, interviews, documents, and everything. The one that I haven't mentioned is about literature review. Oh, I missed that. PDF file. Okay, that's in text file. PDF files are normally when you run your literature. If you want to write literature review, you have the PDF file. Bear in mind that some PDF files comes from scanning files, and you can see it from the right side, the size of that PDF files. If the size is unbearable, it's really, really huge, that means it comes from scanning. nvivo cannot run scanning data. It has to come from the PDF original data. Scanning, it's going to be looked as a picture, not as a data. You have to convert the scanning data, picture data, into PDF files. And that is very, very important. Something that I missed about literature review, writing literature review is a challenging task. I think the hardest part of writing a paper is writing the lit review. I mean, introductions is easy, methodology is easy, findings is very straightforward, but writing a critical literature review that can show you about the gaps is something that is really, really challenging. Baru baca satu paper, ya cacing semua, right? Semuanya derivatif. All of these mathematical notions. Padahal baru bangun tidur, padahal habis sarapan, perut kenyang, mata melek, begitu ngelihat cacing ngantuk langsung. Betul nggak sih? Iya kan? And that is a habit, not just you, but me too. Okay? And that can be solved using nvivo. Okay, I'm not asking you to buy nvivo, okay? I'm not coming from nvivo, but what do you do if you import all these PDF files, Word documents files of your lit review, semuanya masuk ke dalam nvivo, import them, and then you run them based on topics by topics by topics through content analysis. Jadi kalau tadi ceritanya Mas Arbai, cerita tentang community engagement. So community engagements do have some different notions out of that community engagement. Community participations, community engagements, community activities. A lot of terms that you use in community engagement. And So the participations, the engagements, the involvement, okay, and the activities. Then you want to write something, a lit review. You read hundreds of papers. You put them there. You just do it through text search. nvivo, tolong cariin dong. Can you please help me? Who talks only about community participations? And then you type in your text search, quote unquote, community participations. Once you talk about community participations, nvivo will search everything with the terms community participations. And then we'll look at it. Community participations was discussed by, ada listnya tuh langsung tuh, nvivo akan kasih listnya. Besok saya tunjukin ya. Akan ada listnya, keluar listnya, semuanya keluar. Was discussed by author tahun. Okay. Kemudian what you need to write is the definitions. Community engagement is defined as, you just have to look everything discussed about community engagements, and then you type definitions, and in that sense you get the definitions of that community engagement, and that's something that it can help you about the pattern, about the mapping through content analysis of your lit review, and then each of them you will discuss bit by bit through the themes, and then you can tell about the research gaps, and that is through lit review analysis. Okay, so this is the starting point. When you start, how to download this? You go and have a look. Mas Dias, are we going to download it for the participants, or ask them to download on their own? Mute, Mas.
Yeah. They can download by their own.
Yeah.
There is also a question from Pak Han. Ini kita harus install nvivo 10, 11, or 12 plus, Bu?
Oh, okay. I'm not sure whether 10 we still can have access, but 10 is useless. I'm sorry.
Okay, 10 is useless.
11,
11, yeah.
11 is okay, but why you install for the old one if you do have the new one, right? I mean, what's the point? If you do have a lot of powerful tools, why do you have to go with 11? Again, I need to tell you something. There are some bajakan. Oh, unfortunately, the sad things about my country is about that bajakan things. Which is sold in Bukalapak or Tokopedia, Topet. It's about 200,000. The original cost of nvivo is 7 million, but it's a lifetime. It can update you regularly. So, and it's 2 users. So if you're PhD students, I strongly advise you to buy. Again, I'm not getting any commissions, okay? With two users. The only reasons why I don't want you to buy the bajakan, first, it's against the law, and number 2, it's going to mati all way long. Lagi enak-enak yang ngeran data, mati tiba-tiba. You lose your data. And that happens. If I teach in front of the class, Bu, tiba-tiba mati. Belinya pasti di Tokped ya. And I can tell. And when you present it in a paper, they will tell you that your software is pajaka. There are some symbols that can detect that is yours, is not good one. So mati-mati, data hilang, atau corrupted files, what's the point? Okay? You need to buy the original one. If you don't, share it among different friends. If you're a PhD student, share it among different files. But Erlangga, Brawijaya, and UI, they all have nvivo in their library, so should not be any problems. Okay?
Ibu, terima kasih sekali. Ini ada beberapa leaders di participants ini, sehingga kita berharap beliau membeli original untuk seluruh mahasiswanya.
Tapi saya nggak ikut-ikutan ya, nggak dapat komisi nih, Mas.
Ini ada Ketua Program Doktor Accounting, Bu, Bapak Aulia Fuad Rahman. Selamat pagi, Pak Fuad. Ini mudah-mudahan informasi ini bisa di follow up juga dan mahasiswanya bisa dibelikan. Baik, baik Ibu, terima kasih banyak for the
Itunya downloadnya Mas, QSR Mas Dias boleh pergi ke share aja QSR International.
Just a minute Bu, QSR International.
Go to the websites and qsrinternational.com. Free trials. Nanti kok trialsnya habis 14 hari, ngedownload lagi.
Di laptop yang lain.
Download lagi tapi ganti komputer. Karena mereka recognize IP Bapak Ibu.
Oke. Ini saya copy di chat ya Bu ya?
Di itu aja. Ditunjukin aja Mas Dias pergi ke HP aja, ke website.
Oke Bu.
Share screen.
Share screen, this one, share. Oke. This one Ibu, can you see my screen?
I agree, pencet I agree.
Ya.
Bawah ada I agree.
I agree, oke, this one.
Terus ada sebenarnya kok beda sama saya. Terus no. nvivo, pencet nvivo.
This one, oke.
Ya. And then itu. Buy and try. Nanti kalau misalnya try, ambil try aja.
Oke.
Tolong diambil ya, yang trial Windows atau Mac sama aja dan 32 MB.
Ini start trial ya Bu ya?
Boleh, start trial. Boleh. Nanti diambil yang 32 MB.
Oke.
Nanti ada videonya segala macam. Ini YouTube banyak sekali ini udah. Oke. Start trial. Itu ada nvivo Windows trial.
Mac berarti
ada yang Mac trial juga ada. Oke. Ada yang cloud juga. Oke. That's it. That's easy. If you want to have your data, you want to discuss with me, bring it tomorrow. Next slides lagi Mas, masih ada waktu. Sayang kita optimalkan waktunya.
This one.
Unless Bapak Ibu ada yang bertanya. Nah, ini adalah starting point-nya. Ada contohnya sample project. Ini misalnya menamakan filenya, jadi gampang saja. Kalau kita buka blank project, it's going to ask you how do you name your files, and tulis aja PIBS. Ini kerjanya dengan sistem cloud, di mana kita bisa share langsung, kita save ke cloud, dan cloud ini bisa kita kerjakan barengan dengan peneliti-peneliti lain di seluruh dunia, nggak masalah. Jadi kerjanya dengan sistem cloud base ya. Next slide, Mas Dias.
Oke. This one, Ibu.
So seperti di Word files, kita punya dua menu komen. Yang atas namanya adalah ribbon view atau toolbar view, itu semua perintahnya ada di sana. Jadi semua menunya ada di sana. Terus kemudian ada navigation view sebelah kiri, yang itu tidak, yang itu kita nggak dapatkan di Word documents misalnya, tapi sebelah kiri itu menunjukkan tentang jenis datanya dan jenis hasilnya. Misalnya hasilnya dalam bentuk coding atau mungkin dalam bentuk kasus, cases, ataupun dalam bentuk mapping dan lain sebagainya. Ini yang akan kita lihat. Jangan mikir ini susah sekali loh ya. Ini gampang sekali. Saya ibu-ibu, emak-emak, pokoknya yang bisa ngerjain. Berarti kalau ibu-ibu kayak Ibu Elvia aja bisa, kenapa saya yang anak muda nggak bisa gitu ya. Jadi this is really, really simple, very, very user friendly. So this is not difficult at all. Gampang banget ya. Oke, next slide. Oke, so this is how to import data. Tadi saya sudah katakan, itu yang di atas itu adalah ribbon view. Itu adalah bagaimana kita bisa mengimport data. Bapak dan Ibu bisa lihat sebelah kiri ada project, kalau itu misalnya arsitek seperti Mbak Anggi tadi, itu proyek-proyek arsiteknya Mbak Anggi, dari mulai gambar, lokasi, terus desain, dan lain sebagainya, bisa diimport lewat project. And capture semua yang sifatnya HTML, that's misalnya Twitternya salah satu politicians kita mau ikuti, kita follow tentang kebijakan ekonominya misalnya, that can be done through encapture. Jadi Twitter, kemudian Facebook, LinkedIn, WhatsApp itu kalau nanti Bapak dan Ibu sudah install ini kita nvivo, itu di WhatsApp-nya bisa langsung ada menu untuk bisa mengambil informasi tadi. Tapi lagi-lagi ethics jangan sampai tidak dijalankan. text data files, documents, teks, itu termasuk Excel juga, video, audio, images. Nah, satu hal yang belum saya jelaskan Bapak dan Ibu, yang kita run itu bukan gambarnya, tapi adalah narasi dari gambarnya. Jadi kita harus menarasikan gambar tersebut sesuai dengan apa yang kita percayai dari gambar tersebut. Nah, untuk menghindari ada bias tadi, bias opinion, bias narrations, kita harus tanyakan kepada aktornya atau kita tanyakan kepada informan yang capable menjawab that kind of resources. Okay, so you do have literature review as well. That's in PDF. Remember, but that's scanning data, Excel. For instance, if you do your survey through Google Forms, that can be done through Excel. Otherwise, if you come from SurveyMonkey and Qualtrics, you can import them directly. SPSS for something to do with text space, that can be done. EndNote, saya mau jelasin. Then maybe this will be the last slides because then we need to practice for tomorrow. What's the difference between PDF and EndNote, Mendeley, and RefWorks and Zotero? Okay, remember on the tops, number 3, there is a PDF files, and there is literature review, and there is EndNotes. You know, with EndNotes, it gives you more information about the author, the year, the title, the journals, volume, issue, page number. Betul nggak? Kalau di EndNote atau di Mendeley, betul kan? But in lit review, you have to read it first. You have to read it one by one in order to get to know about the volume or about the issue and journalnya. Kita harus baca satu-satu. So you can run your lit review using EndNotes or Mendeley, or you can run it through lit review depending on the purpose of your research. If you want to conduct meta-analysis, this is what I've done with lecturers from Erlangga University, Mas Nofris and Mas Iman. What we did is that looking at not just the topics and the themes, but we also want to see the issue, the volume, the page number, and things like that, the methodology, all in details, and that can be run through the EndNotes or Mendeley. So in that case, meta-analysis, mapping can be done through EndNotes instead of lit review or PDF files. Outlook is something to do with emails. So you run the emails and you run that data, and that can be run through the Outlook and maybe others, maybe artifacts. Saya rasa itu saja, Mas Dias. We continue tomorrow, and then you can open the discussions from the participants if they have questions related to today's sessions.
Right, thank you very much, Bu Elvia. Okay, is there anyone to ask a question? Please raise hand, and I will choose from the audience. Ada yang ingin bertanya, silakan klik reactions, kemudian bisa tanda jempol atau raise hand atau tepuk tangan, silakan nanti kita akan undang ke dalam Zoom ini. Ada mungkin?
Yeah, Jonathan, correct. You can also use Evernote, Jonathan. That's correct. I have to add that one too.
Yeah. Okay. There are many questions asking about the PowerPoint. Kita tidak akan share the PowerPoint because it is a copyright, but we will share the video, the YouTube link of our workshop. Bukan begitu, Bu Elvia ya? Ya. Okay. Is there any questions? Coba
Pak Fatoni itu, Pak Fatoni, Mbak, Mas.
Pak Fatoni, oke, Pak Fatoni, oke. Pak Fatoni, silakan. Pak Fatoni ini termasuk di Satgas COVID nih, Bu. Silakan Pak Fatoni.
Ya.
Oke, silakan.
Terima kasih, Bu.
Elvia.
Ya, Elvira dan Pak Dias.
Ya.
Mohon izin saya ingin bertanya terkait dengan PAR ya, Participation Action Research. Apakah ini berbeda dengan mix method antara kualitatif dan kuantitatif research? Apakah PAR ini bisa digunakan karena kami di perawat ingin memberdayakan masyarakat, perawat dan masyarakat terkait dengan penanggulangan COVID ini, Bu. Terima kasih.
Siap.
Terima
Ya, siap.
kasih Mas Fatoni. Oke.
Terima kasih,
Silakan,
matur suwun, Mas.
Ya.
Ya, jadi Pak Fatoni, participatory action research itu kan hanya satu metode saja di mana kita sebagai peneliti bukan hanya mengobservasi, tapi kita juga terlibat. Biasanya di health science itu kita terlibat dalam misalnya pengembangan suatu metode, atau mungkin kita mengembangkan suatu cara dan kita mau ngajarin mereka dan kita mau ngelihat impact-nya. Jadi kita tuntun, step by step-nya kita ikutin, satu persatu. Oke? Kan kadang-kadang kita cuma lihat dari jauh aja kan, kita cuma observasi aja, kita catat gitu. Kita kan nggak terlibat. So once you are involved and you want to tell them what this is what you need to do, and you want to compare before and after your involvement, and that is what we call it participatory action research. Okay, if that's what you do, you can do that through qualitative data. You can do that through quantitative data. It doesn't matter. It's just PAR is just a method. It's just an approach, different from the observations one, because you're involved. Normally in health science, like your area, Pak, itu biasanya terlibat, Pak, atau pengembangan sistem. Kalau di saya dari jurusan akuntansi, pengembangan sistem akuntansi, di mana kita benar-benar terlibat, Pak, di dalamnya. Karena kalau nggak terlibat, nanti nggak bisa ngetes sebelum dan sesudahnya, right? So that's what we call it. And you can do that using qualitative data. You can do that using quantitative data. Ya? Menjawab, Pak?
Oke, Bu. Thank you very much.
Ya. Mas Dias, unmute.
Terima kasih banyak Pak Fatoni. Oke, mungkin any question from, saya mau undang teman saya yang dari Jakarta ini, jauh-jauh dari Mbak Yolen.
Ada pertanyaan Mas Dias, apa yang berbeda antara nvivo 11 dan 12? Bedanya adalah the way they analyzed it. So banyak temuan-temuan baru yang ada di nvivo 12 yang tidak ditemukan di nvivo 11. So, tapi kalau nvivo 10 9, 8 udah nggak mungkin lah, ya, jangan gunakan lagi. Tapi 11 masih bisa, but it is stronger if you use the 12 versions rather than 11 versions. Oke?
Oke. Ibu, saya akan tunjuk teman saya, Mbak Yolenta dulu, dan kemudian Mbak Yeni dari accounting. Mbak Yolenta di Jakarta, silakan, mungkin ada pertanyaan Mbak Yolenta tentang research yang lagi ingin dilakukan?
Iya, ada Bu Elvia. Kebetulan saya juga sudah install nvivo-nya. Nah, kebetulan saya nvivo-nya nvivo 12 Plus. Apakah ada perbedaan sama nvivo yang 12 Pro? Bedanya apa? Gitu.
Kalau Plus lebih banyak fungsinya. Jadi lebih banyak fungsinya dalam artian gambar itu lebih sensitif dibandingkan yang Pro. Tapi yang gratisan kalau nggak salah saya hanya bisa dapat Pro, nggak bisa dapat Plus. Plus itu bisa gambar itu lebih sensitif, Mbak.
Oh, lebih sensitif itu pada saat kita mengimport gambarnya, nanti bisa lebih terlihat kan biasanya kalau gambar yang diimpor, kita juga menganalisis sendiri gambarnya situ ya Bu ya, kalau nggak salah ya. Jadi
dua-duanya. Jadi in terms of data collections and in terms of data analysis, it's quite powerful using the Plus rather than the Pro.
Oke, baik Bu. Terima kasih Bu.
Okay.
It doesn't mean kalau kita pakai yang Pro nggak bisa ngerjain gambar loh ya, bisa.
Oh ya.
Cuman it's going to be richer. Jadi kalau yang jurusan arsitek, lingkungan gitu ya, yang health science yang memang sensitif sekali dengan gambar, saya sarankan punya yang Plus instead of Pro. Okay? But if you're from accounting stream, di mana gambar nggak terlalu kuat, nggak usah pakai yang yang plus, pakai yang pro saja gitu loh ya.
Baik, terima kasih Mbak Yolenta dan Mbak Elvia. Last
Mbak Yeni.
Dari Mbak Yeni, silakan Mbak Yeni. Mbak Yeni adalah sekretaris di jurusan accounting di FEBUB. Silakan Mbak Yeni.
Halo Mbak Yeni, apa kabar Mbak?
Alhamdulillah baik Bu. Bu Elvia apa kabar?
Baik, alhamdulillah.
Long time no see ya, Masya Allah.
Iya. Kemarin kita kan WA-WA-an kemarin 2 hari lalu ya Mbak?
Iya, mengomentari statusnya Bu Elvia. Ibu, one question to ask. Normally, I do mixed methods research by doing the quantitative first, then following it up with confirmation with qualitative, yeah. But then I have a supervisee. She would like to do in the other way around because she would like to have a model first, as well as questions for the questionnaires that she developed. Then she would like to have the qualitative and then the quantitative. But then the problem is, although I already understand what she's going to do, one of her examiner asked her to provide several references, past research, especially in accounting era, which had done the qualitative first, then the quantitative. And I found a bit difficulties in finding those kind of model because normally we do it in quantitative, and then qualitative. May I have your suggestions, Bu Elvia? Thank you.
Okay, Mbak. It's all driven by your theory. That's number one, Mbak. It's all driven by your framework, theory, and research questions. And your research questions. You know, when Mas Dias came the first time to see me, it was kind of like it's quite long discussions. In fact, at that time, Mas Dias asked me, should we ask with qualitative first, or should we start with the quantitative first? Okay. So now the question is, if you want to start with quantitative first, my question is your variables are all there? Do you need all of the variables in your models in the first stage or not? Right? If you want to have all of your models or your variables in your models at the first stage, then you can't do it. You have to do it second, right? But if you don't like, no, it doesn't matter. We don't need to have that, okay? We just want to try it first with that one. Then you can start with the quantitative one first. But again, what is the theory behind that? What is the theory behind that? If you use theory of planned behavior by Eisen, you need to start to understand first all of your qualitative data, and then you run this into the model. So now the question is, out of your model, do we have all of the measurements in your models? If in your measurements, not all the variables can be measured in that models, then you start with qualitative first. And that's my questions to your, my answer to your questions. I don't know, but again, your research questions is important. Your theory is important, and the problems is also important. Framework is important. So you have to start with the framework, the kotak-katik dulu frameworknya, with 3 steps of methodology, for instance, right? Qualitative, quantitative, mix, or quantitative, qualitative, and mix, and things like that. And you have to differentiate between data collections and data analysis stage. These two are different. Data collections, it can be mixed. Data analysis can be mixed too, okay? And that is, and design, of course. We're talking about the framework, it's design. So there's 3 stages: design stage, data collection stage, and data analysis stage. And that can be really, really quite challenging. And that's something that we discussed with Mas Dias at that time with his supervisor, Professor Elton Lee. And we finally started with the qualitative in order. You started with quantitative, you must.
Yeah.
You started with quantitative, and then you come with qualitative, and then quantitative again, right?
Yeah.
and that is something possible. You can do it with three layers. Mas Dias can tell about why do you start with quantitative first, Mas Dias? You can tell about your research.
Ya, iya Bu. It's been 5 to 6 years ago. Agak ini, nanti saya kumpulkan lagi informasinya lebih dalam lagi Bu. But yeah.
Mas Dias start with quantitative first.
Okay.
And that is possible.
Right.
Okay.
Baik, Ibu, terima kasih banyak. Mbak Yeni, terima kasih banyak atas pertanyaannya. Saya harus men-saving energinya Bu Elvia, karena harus di kampus juga, dan besok kita akan memulai lagi. Okay, thank you very much Bu Elvia for your time, for your explanation, very clear ya, dan sangat menginspirasi. Ini di chat juga banyak yang senang dengan program ini. Oke, Bapak Ibu, please prepare your nvivo for tomorrow ya. Kita nggak kepingin bikin sesi yang terlalu panjang, nanti malah capek gitu ya, energinya habis. We will start again tomorrow 8:30 tomorrow. Yang sudah register through the Eventbrite, I will send back the link. Kalau yang belum ya, nanti I can send my email in chat, so you can chat me or you can send me by email. Bu Elvia, ada juga yang ingin menanyakan emailnya Bu Elvia. Can you please type your email address also in the chat?
Boleh.
Ada beberapa pertanyaan juga. I will keep the questions. Ada tadi pertanyaan dari Mbak Ikhtiara tentang coding. Besok begitu Ibu ya, nanti kita akan jawab lagi. Oke, terima kasih atas partisipasi Bapak Ibu sekalian. Mudah-mudahan ini bermanfaat buat Bapak Ibu sekalian. Insya Allah kita akan ketemu lebih pagi. Kalau bisa datang lebih pagi, jam 8, karena kalau di atas itu akan sulit untuk admit-nya, nanti akan telat karena harus dilakukan pada saat break. Right. Thank you very much for all attention. Terima kasih Ibu Elvia sudah banyak memberikan informasi dan pengetahuan pada hari ini. All the best wishes and see you tomorrow. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Thanks a lot, Bu.